It's why I can't watch Fox News. And, well, CNN, any of them.
I was gonna say that's all of them.
It's all of them. I can't. It's like, let them answer the question. That's from being old school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because you know, back in the day, we'd be talking, growing up, so we're talking, trying to talk to them, we popped in the mouth.
Oh, my mother would still smack. I can.
And the biggest catchphrase, keep your mouth shut when grown folks are talking.
That's a fact. My dad would say, I'm sorry, we didn't mean to be talking while you were interrupting. Boom. Yes, sir. My dad was so funny. When I was young, I asked him one time, I said, no, but I'm working on it. Oh my God, what? What?
He said that with a serious face.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, wait, Jimmy, don't say things like that to him.
Well, he shouldn't ask stuff like
I
that.
shouldn't ask stupid questions. Yeah, what did he say? Yeah. Now it's just her and me, we're the only ones left. Everybody else is gone. You lost a lot of your family members.
Yeah, well, so, you know, my parents lost both of them in 2002 right during COVID. Mother died of COVID. Went down to Mississippi, buried her, then 5 weeks later, my dad had a heart attack up here.
Remember, so awful.
Yeah.
My dad and I were born on August 29th, same day. And even though we're from Arkansas, it wasn't the same year. But see what I did? And on August 28th of 2017, my sister died of a heart attack. 9 months later, my dad, niece, and nephew got killed in a car wreck. And then not long after that, my mother had all these strokes and stuff. It was like, life is fragile.
Yeah, it is.
Better be ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
Because it can happen quickly.
Now, you live in the White House, right?
South of White House, yeah. You know where the big water tower is by Roller Coaster Hill?
Yeah.
We live real close to that. Matter of fact, when Kevin Burns was working there, he and Kevin Maples were shooting a story about Roller Coaster Hill over there on Carl Dowdy, because these kids had been driving too fast and they went airborne and took out the top of a pine tree.
Yeah,
Remember when that happened?
Yeah.
And, so they were shooting a story not far from that at all. And I stopped and like, hey, interesting question. I'm like, yeah, slow down. Don't drive so fast. These kids, they go out and get full of beer and yeah, weed and beer. Yeah, they drive too fast.
I think things haven't changed since I was in high school.
Probably not.
I was on go-to back in the day.
Yeah, when I was in high school, our big thing was smoking cigarettes. We just smoked a lot of cigarettes. And, nobody thought a thing about it back then. I mean, everybody, back in the 70s, everybody smoked. It was fun. My mom was the only one that I knew who didn't smoke. But it was just a different time, you know?
I think our goal was to find someone who would collect some money, find someone who buys a keg.
Oh, yeah.
So we could have a keg party. So.
Well, if you were trying to supply beer for a pasture party, you'd go and find some guy that you knew. There was always, you know, some wino coming into the store, and you go, hey, man, give me $5.
Yeah, that's what we
Go
did.
in there and get us a little pony keg. Okay. I can remember a 6-pack of beer was like $2.25.
Wow.
So I haven't drank in.
The cheapest thing you could find out there.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was. Yeah. Yeah, I can't. I don't drink anymore. I'm on this around, cause my sons and my neighbors and stuff, they, they'll come over and want a beer, and I'll have it. And I wasn't sure what to buy, cause I didn't know anybody, it used to be like Stroh's was real big for a while.
And then Coors
Coors
Light.
Light and all that.
Now they got all these, the Shiner Box and all
Yeah.
them sure things like that.
But I don't drink, so I don't even know what's popular now, so. Somebody told me, so you can't go wrong with Miller Lite, and I went, okay, I wouldn't have thought that, but I bought a 30-pack like a year ago. Most of it's still in the garage.
But when people come over, they can have a sip.
And they did. As a matter of fact, I have a setup down, have you been to my house?
Never
You
been.
need to come to my house.
Okay.
And, you like to shoot?
Huh?
You like to shoot?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I got about 15 guns at home myself.
Okay, well, good. I've got a small gun range set up, because I got property that goes like this.
Yeah, I got one set up across the road from me.
I'm gonna come shoot at your house then. Either way.
Yeah, I had some guy who run that hunt on there.
Yeah.
Him and his nephew set up a gun range.
Wow. What are you using, just paper targets?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they got like a little, sort of like a plywood.
Yeah, yeah.
And they put the paper target up there.
Staple it on it,
Mhm.
yeah. I do that, and then, I have two more kinds. I have the round targets, and then I also have the ones that are silhouette shaped. But I don't hunt,
Yeah.
so that's really kind of my excursion. And I also reload.
Okay. Yeah, Bob does that. He says he does.
Bob and I talked about that, actually. Bob and I both reload. You don't save a bunch of money, but you save some. And especially if you have calibers that are odd, like I do. I have 6.5 Creedmoor. I have 45-70 for my Henry. I have either 2 or 3 Henry rifles that are 570, which are odd.
Yeah.
That's an odd. Most of the rest of them are kind of ones that you would know, but they're not ones that, like if you go down to buy more ammo, it's still going to be expensive.
That's like I got my grandfather's old 41 Colt.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I have it. You ready? I guess I have a 1910 Colt 44, and I traded it off for a 6.5 Creedmoor. With a scope. Counselor, am I allowed to take pictures as well?
Up to you. That's up to the court, actually.
Yeah, so.
Same answer, I guess.
Not my courtroom.
Okay,
So as long as it's not disruptive or anything.
okay, thank you.
If you need to,
Yeah.
you can, it's all over and everything, so. Are you guys ready for me to send the judge out? You think?
I'll let her, somebody shot.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Here's this, if you need it.
Have a seat up here. Did you decide what you?
And then I call the boss back. I was not.
I'll be fine.
But
I'll just need that for a little bit.
That's okay.
A little bit later.
You're good.
okay, well, okay, all clean.
All rise. Justice Court, Precinct 3, Smith County, Texas is now in session. Honorable James Meredith presiding.
Okay, everybody can be seated, thank you very much. And so we're gonna pick back up on ADM 25009 JP3 in the matter of the estate of Ruby Jolene Davis. Is the estate ready?
Your Honor, state's ready to proceed. I've spoken to Miss Maureen Davis, and she has indicated that she is the daughter of Miss Ruby Davis. I have here state's suggestion of death indicating that Miss Davis has passed away, and that Maureen Davis will proceed in being representing the ownership interest in those animals. And I have spoken to Ms. Davis, and she is not represented by counsel, Your Honor.
So you decided not to have an attorney?
Not at this time.
Okay.
Currently, there's not an executive for her estate. It's not gone through probate court, and a representative has not been assigned.
So what is the state? Do you need to call any witnesses?
Your Honor, I do not. Ms. Maureen Davis has indicated, and the evidence will indicate that she is in the care, was in the care, custody, and control of the animals at the time. I have a suggestion of death that I'm submitting to the court right now, and that indicates that asking the court to find that Ms. Maureen Brooks Davis is the authorized representative to proceed on behalf of the ownership, in her ownership of these animals. I should have an order in there. If I don't, I can get you one.
Okay, so the order on suggestion of death, and I'm going to approve that at this time to show that I guess you're responsible for these at that time.
Your Honor, the state will show today that while the dogs may not have been cruelly treated in the sense that you think of dog fighting or any other type of physical abuse towards the dogs, there are indications, there's ample indication that evidence will show that these dogs were not cared for properly. They were unreasonably confined, multiple dogs in crates filled with feces and urine, lack of access to food and water. You will hear testimony from the fire marshals or from the animal control officer, along with the sheriff's office, who were present that day, who witnessed the conditions of the dogs and the conditions that the dogs were living in at the time. We also will provide evidence through video as well as through photographic evidence to show the condition that these dogs were in. And then we're going to ask the court to order all of the dogs to be turned over to the state for hopefully adoption if that option is available. We're also going to ask the court to assess a fee for the care of the dogs while they've been in Smith County's custody, and we will present evidence to the court of that. So at this point, we're ready to proceed with our witnesses, Your Honor.
Anyone's gonna be testifying, if you please stand and raise your right hand. Are you gonna testify, ma'am? Are you gonna testify?
Me?
Yes.
I'm not sure.
You swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in the case now on trial is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you. Okay, you need to call a witness.
Your Honor, state would call Animal Control Officer Kristen Chamberlain to the stand.
This might fall right here.
Yeah, sorry.
No, you're good.
Yeah, just have a seat there,
Okay.
and you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Officer Chamberlain, just for the court's information, can you tell the court who you are and what you do?
I'm Officer Chamberlain with Smith County Animal Control. I've been an animal control officer for 3.5 years. We deal with a bunch of things. We're guarding with dogs, animal cruelties, animal bites, animal complaints. Mostly we focus on dogs, and I mean, that's exactly what we do.
And how long did you say you've been there?
3.5 years.
And do you have any special certifications that you're required to go through to become an animal control officer?
I have one right now. I'm nationally certified for animal cruelty investigator through the University of Michigan.
How long did it take you to get that?
I did 8 weeks worth of classes,
How many weeks?
1 week.
Okay. And so you have that certification. Do you have any other certifications that you've received, any other training regarding animal cruelty investigations or animal issues related to dogs or any other animals?
I have 2 other ones that were through Arlington that had animal cruelty, dog fighting, and a few other things like dog handling too, also with those.
Are those certifications?
Yeah.
Or, okay. And who are they through?
Arlington.
Arlington,
Mhm.
the city of Arlington?
Yes,
Or,
animal control.
okay. And when was the last time that you you went to a training or received a training on animal control?
Well, no, I think it was February, I think 28th was the National Animal Cruelty Investigator class.
And roughly speaking, how many animal control or animal cruelty investigations have you done?
Probably over at least 20, maybe if not more.
And did you respond to 19225 FM 345 on the 19th of September?
Yes, sir.
And what was the reference to that call?
We got a call from the sheriff's office, also EMS, stating that there was a lady unconscious and that there was 50 to 60 dogs with cats and rats and that they were all living in terrible condition and they wanted us to check it out.
And what did you see when you arrived?
When I first walked in, trash, kind of everywhere. The smell of pneumonia hits you as soon as you walk in. You weren't able to see all the dogs when you first walk in. They were all in different rooms and pet carriers with feces all over the floor. Bags of dog food that you would think would have dog food in it, but it was paper with feces and urine right next to the dogs. You had, of course, collected up dust, and again, feces pretty much everywhere. And all the dogs in pet carriers.
Have you seen conditions like this before in animal cruelty
Mhm.
cases?
Yes, sir.
And is this is this common in animal cruelty cases?
Yes, sir.
Did you see any, and you said they were in multiple crates, so did you see any food or water that was in the crates?
So in the crates, there were little bitty buckets, but none of them actually had water in it because they were knocking them over, and so they were actually laying in their water 24/7 on top of their feces, which keeps their paws completely wet and starts to create kennel sores on the bottom of them.
Did any of the dogs that you saw have these kennel sores?
Yes, some of them did.
Was there enough room for these dogs to move around?
Not necessarily, not on all of them. I would say most of them could maybe turn around, but they would have to sit the whole time.
And what type of dogs were these?
So we, after looking at all of them, we figured out they were Italian Greyhounds. Well, also half of them were, and then half were Whippets. And then you had 3 poodles.
And when you went into the house, was there anybody present at the house?
Not at first when we went there. And then when we were there for maybe about almost an hour, the daughter to the lady that was Miss Ruby, of course that passed away, her daughter showed up.
Are you familiar with this location?
I know we had another call back in 2022, but I was not present at that time. With
Are you
that one.
familiar with that call at all?
A little bit, yes.
Could you describe to the court what the nature of that call was?
Same thing. Someone called in about dogs being in crates 24/7. Also, someone ended up buying a dog from her that was, from what they said, was in poor condition, malnourished, and looked sick, and wanted us to check on the animals.
Did you have a chance to take photographs of the condition of the
I
dog?
did.
Your Honor, may I approach?
You may.
I'm showing you what's marked Exhibit B1 through B16. Do you recognize those?
Yes.
How do you recognize those?
These were the pictures that I took when I was at location of, most of these are each dog in their crates, well, pet carriers. Yeah, and then showing that their species and all of them. Some of these right here were pet records that I found on a table, but the most recent one was from 2023, and it looked like it was just maybe dewormer that was on here. The picture with B4, page B4, when we pulled out a pet carrier to put a dog in, you could see that there was feces laying, liquid feces all through the bottom, and also what, if you were able to look more and it goes to the side through the rest of the pet carriers, there was liquid feces going right underneath it.
And do those Your Honor, I move to enter into evidence what's marked as Exhibit B1 through 16.
Let me make sure they put them out of order.
And I've provided Ms. Davis a copy as well. And if I may, I'm going to show a few of those to her. Have her explain and describe them. With regards to Exhibit B5, I think you described it a little bit earlier, but what does that show?
So right here, it shows liquid feces all over the floor. Right here, this is dust but also feces. On the wall, there is dust but also splashes of feces. Right here is another crate that it was right next to, there was 2 stacked up on each other right here. This one is another crate with another dog in it that has feces aligned to the side, and feces, liquid feces going all down in here, and probably urine also.
I'm showing you what's marked as Exhibit B6. Can you describe to the court what that is?
So right here, there is a dog carrier. Most of what the dogs were in. If not, there was 1, there was 2. You have the paper down here that you could tell has, what they do is they pull out the paper that has been, had feces or urine in it, and they just replace it. They don't clean out the kennel. This paper right here, you'll see in all the dog food bags. There's a whole bag in probably about 6 7, 8 bags of this right next to the dogs.
Showing you what's marked as Exhibit B9, can you describe to the court what that is?
This is another pet carrier that the dogs were in. This one, I believe, was probably outside running around, and they were probably going to end up going right back into it. There is feces and urine that has been sitting there and sitting there. There are bowls, but there was nothing in the bowls. Again, there was a water bucket with no water in it. There's feces that line the kennel crate and down here in the floor right here. I mean, there's just feces everywhere in there.
Look, in your experience as an animal control officer, how long do you think it would take to get into that condition?
So with that one, depending on how many dogs are in there, appears to probably be a whole day's worth of poop, if not more.
And so would this take a week to get in the overall condition, a month, a year? How long would you think it would take?
So with how many dogs that were there, it could probably take up to a few days just to even get to the point where it's uncontrollable. If not, you get to a point after a week's work, you could tell that nothing has been cleaned at least for a few months, at least with the feces around the floor and on top of the crates and inside the crates, because once it starts getting hard, you can tell they weren't cleaning it.
And I'm showing you what's marked as Exhibit B12. Can you describe to the court what that is?
So right here are pet carriers again. Both of these had 2 dogs in here, which made it very difficult for them to turn around, be able to lay down, and do whatever they need to do without having to, they automatically have to lay in their feces, but they should be able to turn around, lay down, stand up, and have no issues with being in their feces. Instead, when you have 2 of these in a smaller crate, and this is a bigger one, but still this is not adequate for them. They do not have the space to be able to move without laying in feces. They're automatically laying in their urine, which causes them to get sick.
And so is the bottom one, you said it looks like there's possibly 2 dogs in the bottom
Yes,
one.
and that is a smaller crate.
Smaller crate, and that dog looks like it's barely able to stand.
That was accurate. Yes.
Was that similar across the board for all of the dogs?
I would say most of them, maybe besides 4 of them, had at least a pet carrier that was maybe, at least for the poodles, had bigger ones to be able to stand in, and that was it.
And there were some dogs outside, is that correct?
There were 7 outside.
7
when I first
outside.
pulled that up.
And what were the conditions, what were the outside conditions for those dogs?
So the outside, they had dirt, pretty much what they would run through. There was 1 little bucket of water for 7 dogs, and there was no water in that bucket. Half of it, at least I don't know if they would call it the patio or just the side, it was completely filled with dirt, but also that yard part was not completely covered to where the dogs could stay out of the sun. So the dogs were in the heat and in the sun and barely had any water.
And based on your knowledge of this breed of dogs, is this an active dog? Is this a passive dog?
Very, very active dogs. All of them are.
Do they need space to run?
They need a lot of time outside to be able to run. If not, when you put them in that kennel, it's going to cause them to end up getting very, very stressed out, which could cause them to eventually end up passing away, too.
And when you walked into the home, can you describe what it smelled like other than an ammonia smell?
It smelled like feces and urine has just been sitting there over time in the heat. And to me, it seemed like right when you walked in, it hits you, and you're going to know that there is feces and urine in that house, regardless of the situation. It's probably stuck in the floor, it's stuck in the wall. The best way I can describe it is walking in, you smell feces.
Is this similar to other animal cruelty investigations where you found where there are similar conditions?
Yes.
And now you talked a little bit about making the dogs sick. Did you see any signs of any food anywhere, any bags of food, any canned food, anything like that?
Walking throughout the whole house, I did not see a single thing of at least food for them. I seen dog food bags, but that was filled with feces and urine and paper, nothing to where I could see that they were being fed. I did not see any food.
and what you believe is the paper was used to absorb
Mhm.
the urine and feces.
Yes.
Was it, did it appear that it had been removed from the crates fairly frequently, or?
With how many bags there were, I couldn't guarantee that that was getting changed daily. I couldn't.
And so, y'all seized these animals pursuant to a warrant that was issued in this case, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And based on that warrant, where are those dogs now?
At our shelter at Smith County Animal Control.
And what is the condition of those dogs?
They have gotten a lot better. We had the vet come by and examine every single one of them. Most of the body scores that we got were pretty low. All of them had.
Can you describe what you mean by body scores?
So a body score, at least for a vet, they go based on their weight, what bones they see, pretty much the dog's condition of its body. What he could tell is that most of them you could see at least butt bones and some ribs on the sides of the dogs.
And what would that, as far as the body score goes, what would that be? Like, is it a scale of 1 to 10?
It's 1 to 5.
Okay. What were the conditions on the body scores?
I think what I've seen on some of the vet episodes were at least 2. So they were considered 2s.
And are the dogs being treated for any type of parasites?
Yes, each and every single one of them have some type of whipworms, roundworms. If not, some of them have coccidia or giardia, which is from them eating and being around their own feces and urine.
Were there any other physical issues with the animal, with the dogs, when they came into the shelter? Were there, any sores, any other type of infestations?
So on some of them, you could tell that they had scars. A lot of them came in with kennel scores. We did have a poodle that was completely matted up to where they couldn't see. The ears were completely connected.
When you say, what do you mean by that, completely connected?
The hair was so matted up together that you couldn't separate the ear from the dog at that point, be able to tell the difference of the dog's ear to the actual dog. We ended up having a groomer coming in and shave the dog. The dog was 39 pounds, and the dog ended up coming down to 33 pounds after the dog was shaved, so 6 pounds from the dog. Every single dog had nails that were probably 2 inches what they were supposed to be, causing it to be able to, harder to walk, making it.
What does that indicate to you?
That they weren't being treated and they weren't being groomed accurately. They weren't being taken care of. That's pretty much.
Were there any other infestations of any other parasites or that the dogs had, such as fleas or?
Every single dog had fleas. You were able, even on the poodles, even though 2 of them looked well groomed, they were all covered in fleas. You were able to see the flea poop going straight through the coat of the dog.
And how are the dogs doing now? Are they eating right now?
They are doing a lot better. Every single one of them are eating.
Do you know if they've tested positive for any other types of parasites since they've been getting treatments?
No. They all have been treated for what they have, and they've all been doing really, really well now.
Are they getting exercise, or are they getting out, or are they able to move around in the shelter environment?
With the kennels that we have, they're being able to at least run back and forth, run around, and get a little bit of exercise to what they were getting. With us being shorthanded, it has been a little bit difficult with 44 dogs, but they have the adequate space that they need to be able to get that exercise and not to be feel overwhelmed with it.
I'll pass it with you, Shirley.
Got questions, Paul?
Yes. What is the name of the veterinarian that you say examine the dogs?
Are you talking about who came to the shelter? Dr. Johnson from Lindale Vet.
How much experience does he have with whippets and IGs?
That's going to be a question for him. I'm not sure. I don't have an answer for that one.
Okay. Do you have any experience with whippets and IGs?
I have experience with dogs, but no.
Okay. You didn't know that they were actually Italian Greyhounds when you first got there? You thought they were good
They,
puppies?
we knew that they were a breed of the greyhounds. We didn't know exactly which ones were what.
Do you know what group they're in? They're toy dogs.
They're dogs.
Okay. So you said that you went to an animal cruelty seminar that lasted a week, that was online?
No, you actually have to go to the place.
Okay, but 1 week? Okay. What other experience do you have with taking care of dogs?
What do you mean, can you rephrase that?
Have you ever worked at a vet clinic?
I've worked at Smith County Animal Control for 3 years, 3.5 years. That's all the experience I have.
And what kind of experience did you get before you worked there?
I didn't work with animals. I had my own dogs. That's what I had experience with.
Okay. So you say that their nails were 2 inches too long? Can you show me how long 2 inches looks like? to
I would
you?
say so this is the bed of the dog, I would say. So you have my nail on top of that. I have pictures
They were
that were
not-
taken of the dog's nails.
I know how long they were, but they were not walking on their nails. They were not infected or
The nails
affecting
were,
them.
but we even had the groomer
Gait at
look
all.
at some of the nails, and she even said that the dog's nails were way too long for them.
2 inches is a gross over-exaggeration.
I'm just saying that, yeah, it may not be 2 inches, but the thing is, this is the nail of the dog. You go like that, that's how long the dog's nail was. It was way too long for what it needed to be.
What standard of proof is being required to be met here regarding abuse or neglect of the animals?
What is it? I'm sorry.
What is the standard of proof that's being required to be met here?
You have my experience, you have us going through the house, you see what the dogs are living in. The dogs should not be in crates 24/7. You have
They were not?
feces. We're going based on what I'm seeing.
Okay.
So, the dogs had feces and urine that they were continuously to lay in. There's feces and urine all over the floor and also in bags of dog food. Yes, put it in there, but the feces in the bag of the dog food were sitting right next to the dog to where the dog could reach in and grab that nasty paper, and then they're eating it and it's causing them to get sick.
Okay. When you walk into the dwelling, on the left, there were bags of trash. Those bags of trash were going to be taken out and disposed of.
I'm going to
that
object to
day.
testifying, Your Honor. She's
There
not
were
asking
2
questions. If she wants to
rooms.
testify,
Yeah,
she can
but-
testify.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a question. You say the trash was right beside the dogs. Okay, the dogs were not in the front.
There was, if you go into the rooms where the dogs' crates were, there was bags on each side, and there's pictures of it.
Do you have proof that the dogs were eating? The
It was
trash.
right next to the dogs. I'm saying that they could touch
Okay.
the paper and bring it in.
Do you have proof they were eating it?
No,
Okay.
but at the same time,
Do you
they
have
were
proof that
laying in
they
their
were
feces
not-
and urine.
Going out frequently?
I mean, you can tell by the kennels, what they're laying in all day, you can
That's
tell.
an assumption, that's not proof.
Okay, but I'm just saying that's
And
what
how
we
long
have to
do
go
you
based
think
off of.
that the crates had been dirty?
At least over a day.
That's also an assumption. Can you prove that?
I don't know what she's trying to get at.
Can you prove how long it had been since the crate papers had been changed?
Based on what was collected, no, you can't. I mean, at least you could tell it hasn't been collected within a day. But
Based on the inside of the crates?
based on the inside of the crates and all the bag foods of the paper that were in there.
Okay. Did you see the dog food?
No, I didn't see any dog food.
Okay. How frequently were the dogs being fed that you can prove?
I can prove that, from what I can see and what I was there, I didn't see any dog food. So I didn't know if they were being fed or not. And I did not. It's not like I said they were being starved. I can't tell by,
So you say they were not being starved?
I-
Okay.
I'm saying that if you go in there, I do not see any dog food. So I can't say if they're being fed or not, because there's no dog food. There was no dog food found throughout the
Do you have
house.
proof that dogs need to have access to food at all
Yes,
times?
you at least need to be able to show that there's a bag of dog food at least in the house.
There were several bags.
I didn't personally see them.
Okay, do you know animals can have their intestines twisted if they overeat, and they can die from that?
Okay.
Okay. I can bring in witnesses that will tell you
Your
if
Honor,
the
I'm
dogs
going
are
to
fed
object at
once
this
a
point.
day.
She's not
You're
providing
trying to
testimony.
testify now. You have questions?
What did your vet say regarding how frequently the dog should be fed?
At least they didn't tell us how frequently they should be fed. What we do at the shelter is they get fed twice a day.
Okay. And what's that based on?
That's just based on how my supervisor did it. It is
Do
when
your
the dogs have
dogs-
to be fed in the morning and the dogs have to be fed in the afternoon before we leave.
How frequently do your dogs at the shelter go outside?
So with how big their crates are, if some of them have more energy, they will go outside. We have 2 kennel techs that will walk them daily, at least once a day outside.
Does every single dog get walked daily at your?
Not every single dog, but if they don't have that extra energy and everything like that, they stay in their kennel that's big enough for them.
Okay, and how many dogs do you have in each kennel?
1.
We have pictures that show 2 or 3 dogs in each kennel.
On which one?
You have to release them to the media.
Are you talking about in the shelter? Yeah, there's some that have 2, not 3, but 2, but the kennels are big enough for 2 dogs.
Okay.
I don't have the exact measurement on the kennels, but they are
What
big enough for 2
using
dogs.
to decide what's big enough?
Their bodies, their body weights and their body size.
Okay. You said previously that if a dog can stand up,
Turn around
Mm,
and
turn
lay down.
around.
Yes, but it
each and every
cannot,
one of these dogs were able to do that.
but the dog cannot sit in its feces and urine. If it's having to lay down and it's laying down in its feces and it's not big enough, that dog's got to have enough space to be able to get out of that feces and urine and not be able to lay in it.
All right, what time did you guys arrive?
I think it was about probably
You don't-
around 1
you don't
o'clock.
have the exact time.
So I got called from another call, which was around 12:30, so probably around 1, I think, 1:30.
Okay, so you started walking around, and who went into the dwelling first?
Do what? I'm sorry.
Who went into the dwelling first?
So when I first got there, the deputy directed me inside and showed me.
Okay, and who did he talk to before you went in?
I'm not sure. I got there, the deputy told me what was going on. He's the one that walked me through, so.
Okay, are you aware that my mother had been taken to the hospital?
We were aware that someone was taken to the hospital, but we were told to come check on the animals.
So those dogs, part of them were outside at the time?
Only 7 of them. Well, actually,
There's more than that.
the Labrador, so that's 8, and then another
She
one in
does
the
not
back,
have
so
a
that's 9.
Labrador.
Do I? Or not Labrador, Poodle, my bad, sorry. So I think a total of 8 was outside, or no, 9.
So you can see that the dogs were being exercised and taken care of.
I could only see a few.
Right. Can you prove that they were not earlier that day exercised and taken care of?
I'm not sure. I'm not there during the day. All I can tell is what's been outside and what hasn't.
They had already been out that day.
Your Honor, I'm
So,
going to object again
later
to
on-
testifying. She needs to ask questions.
Question.
If she wants to testify, she can testify later.
How many pounds does your vet say that the whippets should weigh? You were saying that he claims
Those
they
are
were.
bad questions. I'm not sure.
Okay. Do you
All
have?
of them were, most of them are at least under 15 pounds. At least
Okay,
some of
what's
them.
the average range for whippets weight?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Are you saying that they were underweight?
I'm saying that I could see at least ribs and butt bones on some of them.
Do
So
you-
at least
do
some
you
of
know
them
what-
possibly were underweight. I know that the dog, greyhounds are thin in generally, but you shouldn't be able to see at least butt bones or ribs.
In general, yes.
Mhm.
What were they bred to do?
Run.
Okay. They are naturally lean dogs.
Yeah, I know that they are. But the thing is, yes, that those are thin dogs, but you shouldn't still see bones, butt bones, or ribs on the dog. Yes, they can be thin, but you shouldn't be able to see ribs nor
And
butt bones.
I have not seen pictures of 19 with it showing butt bones and rib bones.
There's some pictures in there. I didn't say all of them were laughed at
Do
though.
you have pictures of all 19 whippets
There's
showing
pictures
there
of
to
all the
them?
dogs in there.
Okay. There is not, and you cannot
I'm
see
not the one
entire
that
body.
got the pictures together. But there's pictures of every single dog that I've taken.
They're in the crate and you cannot tell.
Not on property, back at the shelter. We took pictures of every single dog back at the shelter.
Okay, so they were adequately maintained.
Are
You're
you-
saying that some were underweight, but you're not saying that all were.
I'm not a vet, so I can't tell you what body weight they were supposed to be. At least from what I could see, some of them did have were showing ribs, and some were showing butt bones. Other than that, they were still thin, but not showing that criteria of the bones.
Okay, what is your proof that they were being neglected?
I mean, we have pictures. We know that they were laying in their feces and urine at least.
This
for-
is a clean crate, there's nothing.
But if you go back and
In the
look
front
at the
of the
other
crate.
pictures with the feces and the feces on the floor, you remove that crate. Feces should not be even underneath that crate
That
if
was-
it's being cleaned.
What proof do you have that was in feces? Did
There-
you test it?
It's feces, you can tell that it's
Did you
feces.
test
I was
it?
there, I smelt it, it was feces. My hand actually went in it at some point. So, it was feces.
I'm not even sure which picture you're talking about. but
There was one that was shown.
It rains frequently, and it's just as likely to be mud.
Mm. Okay.
Okay, so when do you think the Italian Greyhounds were out last? Do you know which dogs were the Italian Greyhounds?
The only dogs that I know were the seven outside, and then the poodle and another one that was in the back that was outside when I got there. I'm not sure when they went out last. I feel like you've already asked that question.
Huh? When do you think their crates were changed last?
It was hard to tell. It was hard to tell. There was feces and urine in all of them. At least a day. I mean, it's been at least a
All
day.
of them? There was
Most of
feces
them.
and urine in all of the
And
crates?
most of them, yes. There
I
was,
have not seen
there was
that.
some that didn't have any feces or urine in it, but most of them had feces and urine in them.
Okay, what is your definition of most?
What, there was 44, at least 30 of them had feces and urine in them? At least in the pet carriers, yeah.
Okay. What do you
Not
know
more.
about Italian Greyhounds?
You already asked me that.
I know you did not
Uh,
recognize the breed at all.
Your Honor, I do agree. This is ask and answer. She's already answered.
I've
what she
already
knows
answered
about
it.
You did. Proceed on.
How frequently do you think Italian Greyhounds need to go outside?
Probably at
Your
least
Honor, I'm
3.
going to object again.
It's the
She's
same.
already testified that she doesn't know breed specific. Breed specific information is not relevant to this case at all.
Mhm.
Okay. You have further questions?
I don't see what else she can answer. She has no expert knowledge on these animals.
You got any questions for her? Any more?
What's the legal definition of animal neglect?
Your Honor, I'm
Um,
going to object. That's calling it. There is no legal definition of animal neglect. There is a statutory definition of animal cruelty that is provided in the Health and Safety Code. At this point, she can answer to that, but there is no legal definition to neglect.
Can you answer the legal?
So with that, all you have to have is, you have to prove on certain things is that the dogs were being neglected, at least, because there's medical neglect, there is,
Your Honor, if I could I take this witness on board IR to discuss the
Yeah, please.
legal definition of animal cruelty?
Please.
You can sit down.
okay, I was like, what are you looking there?
Officer Chamberlain, are you familiar with this statute that I'm providing you?
Yes.
And what statute is that?
That one is subchapter B, A21-01, 021.
And so what does that provide?
It gives you the definition of cruelly treated.
And what does it say that a cruelly treated animal is?
It says unreasonable, deprived of necessary food, care, or shelter, and cruelly confined.
Thank you.
And that's it.
What's the legal definition of cruelly confined?
On that, with the cruelly confined, you have a doghouse that's outside. It has to be
I'm
covered on all
asking
3
you,
sides.
Where's that listed?
It's listed.
I didn't see any
In that.
specifics about detailing what the doghouse is supposed to look like in a
It's
doghouse.
we also have Smith County ordinance where it states that the dog has to have, especially if it's outside, it's gotta be covered on all sides. And the dog's meat has to be able to go in and out of it, like I said. And then with the crate thing, it's supposed to be where the dog can go in, turn around, lay down, and be out of its feces in there.
Can you prove they weren't able to go in, turn around and lay down?
Most of those pet carriers were pretty small for the dogs. They could probably go in, turn around, but if they lay down, they're not able to get out of their feces and urine. I feel like I've already reviewed that.
Neither one of you have shown me where any of these things are defined.
I'm gonna object, Your Honor, she is testifying.
Food, shelter, and adequate medical care. They were not left outside all the time, though.
But I still don't see this.
Okay, so is there a definition for how long each day they're supposed to be outside, how long each day they're
So
allowed?
depending on the heat, a dog should only be able to be outside for an hour at times, at different times with the heat.
Have you ever said that a dog should stay at all times?
The dogs are allowed to stay on all times, but they have to have the necessary means to be able to stay on. If they are tied up, they have to have water and a shelter at all times, and they're able to stay outside.
Are dogs allowed to be tied up?
Yes, on a cable, tether, or rope. They are.
And that sounds like not being cruelly treated?
If they have all the necessary means, it's not cruelly treated.
What proof do you have that they were not receiving adequate medical care or food?
The only paperwork that I could see, at least for medical wise, was on the table, and last thing I could see was 2023. I asked you for proof of rabies. You couldn't give me any proof of rabies, so I don't know about
Are
proof
you
of
aware
rabies.
that these dogs were legally owned by my mother?
But she was not there at the time. I asked you to.
Okay.
But I'm going based on what I could.
You think that I was aware that she was going to be taken to the
No,
hospital?
but I'm telling you what I've seen. What I seen there was the paperwork that is shown in one of those pictures
Do
that,
you guys understand? She was in the hospital.
Why-
Your Honor, I'm gonna
We're
object
doing
at
that.
this point. She's again testifying.
Trying to testify.
You were shown some of their health records.
yes, and I've only seen some that were in 2023. That was the most recent one that I could see, at least from what we were looking through. And that was, I think it was maybe Panicure or some kind of dewormer, is what it was.
Would you expect someone that was not the legal owner of dogs to know exactly where their health records were during an emergency?
I mean, I was just seeing it on the table. I mean, yeah, I could take in consideration that you may not know, but that's what I was observing was on the table, was the medical stuff. That's all we were able to get at that moment.
I'm finished with questions. I reserve the right to call my own veterinarian.
Any
And
further
also
questions?
witness this. That's it.
Your Honor, I would, just a few questions. When you've conducted investigations in the past, has the breed mattered?
No,
And when you look at a condition of a home where dogs are being kept, do you look for specific things?
yes.
What do you look for?
The necessary food, the area that the dogs are being taken care of in, and to make sure that they have what they need to be able to be fully taken care of.
Was there any indication that these dogs were tortured?
I mean, explain.
Physically beaten? or-
No, I mean, we only had one that showed some scars. Most of the dogs were very, of course, fearful just because they didn't know what was going on, but we only at least seen one with one scar.
Was there any indication the dogs were seriously overworked?
No, no, we're not able to tell
What
that.
about unreasonably abandoned?
I wouldn't say abandoned.
So there was some care that was
Mhm.
provided to
Yeah.
these dogs?
Mhm.
In your experience as an animal control officer, what is the typical reason why some people cannot care for the dog? a large number of dogs?
Usually becomes it gets too much for them, where it's overpopulated and it gets too much work for them. I mean, money, it gets expensive to try and take good care of that many dogs. I mean, there's a lot of reasons.
So it doesn't mean that they don't love their dogs or care for their dogs, it
Right.
just means that,
It's too much at some points.
do you believe that's the case here?
Yes,
And do you believe that they were unreasonably deprived of necessary food?
I would, a little bit, I would say. I can't guarantee that just because we didn't see any food.
What about cruel confinement? That's mentioned, but
Yes.
is it cruel to sit in a crate with your own urine and feces for 2 hours?
Yes,
Is it cruel to sit in a crate with your own urine and feces for 3 hours?
yes,
What about 4 hours?
definitely.
And you said you got there, do you recall, you said you got there around 1?
I think it was around 1 o'clock,
And then, Your Honor, may I approach?
if not 1, at 1:30.
And so pictures were taken and they were time stamped, is that correct?
Yes,
And what's the time stamp on those?
that says 4:56.
Okay. So how about
We were there for a good 3-4 hours.
3 or 4 hours? And the dogs were in the cages,
The whole
most of the dogs were in the cages the whole time. So in your opinion, as an animal control officer who has investigated numerous animal cruelty cases, is that cruel confinement?
Definitely.
And is that why you believed that this case should move forward and that the dog should be seized?
Definitely.
And is that why you assisted the sheriff's department in this investigation?
Yes.
And you also mentioned earlier the rabies vaccination. Are these dogs,
From what we know, no.
is there a requirement that the dog be vaccinated?
Yes.
What's the requirement?
Every dog in the state of Texas has to be current on its rabies vaccine, and that's yearly.
Is there any reason why these dogs would not be vaccinated?
If she couldn't afford it.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Have any more?
Yes, what's the legal definition of cruel confinement?
I've already answered that, I'm pretty sure,
I've
like
not
3
seen-
times.
I've not seen a definition for this.
Your Honor, that's
He
a
asked you
subjective
about
answer.
2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. This is a very subjective,
I've already
Answer.
answered.
so there's no definitive answer.
They're cruelly confined when they can't, when they go in there and they turn around and they cannot get out of their feces, that is cruelly confined.
Okay, can you point out where there's feces in this crate?
All that paper is filled with urine and feces on
This
there.
is clean.
The paper doesn't look clean.
It
When you
does.
go in there,
This is a black and white picture.
okay?
Where's the urine and
Most of the
feces?
pictures though that are shown in there are paper that have regardless feces or urine on it.
I do not see it. Can you point it out?
We're going back and forth with this at this point.
If you want to point out any urine and feces in these pictures.
I can point
do
it out
not
on
see
these
it.
right here,
Either
if you
of
want me
these.
to.
No, I'm asking you about these 2 pictures.
Your Honor, those aren't the.
Yeah. I mean, they're not even
Those are
in
not
there.
the one that evidence here. these
Yeah.
are.
Provided to you that were offered into evidence. Actually, those haven't been offered into evidence yet. Those will be shortly.
Do these crates look clean to you on the inside?
I can't
Do you
see
see
that
any
from
urine
here.
and feces?
It's hard to tell with it being black and white, but
Your Honor,
I just don't understand. There, you can tell that this one's ripped up, so that's been used. You can tell there's at least urine or feces, at least urine or feces on here because the rip and how the darker that is. This could have been pushed to the front and it was in the back, but there's definitely some feces at least back here or urine. It's hard to tell with the black and white photo, but
There's definitely some.
okay. The same question.
These crates are clean. You cannot claim that there's anything in the back
No,
one
she,
that's not.
you asked a question, she's answered.
Mhm.
That's all.
You have any further?
Nothing further.
You step in.
Thank you.
Have another witness.
Your Honor, state would call Deputy Justin Phillips to the stand. Deputy Phillips, can you just introduce yourself to the court?
Yes, I'm Deputy Phillips with Smith County Sheriff's Office.
How long have you been with the Sheriff's Office?
3 years.
And what's your position there?
I'm a patrol deputy.
And, so I'm sure the court's familiar with animal cruelty cases, or to be involved in an animal cruelty case, or be aware of animal cruelty cases, have some sort of training in animal cruelty cases.
I have been aware, but this is the first that I've dealt with.
So, this is the first time that you've responded to a call like this before?
Yes.
And what did you expect when you got the call, when you were dispatched out?
Initially, the call came out as a medical assist. The notes stated that there was approximately 50 or 60 dogs. They did state cats and rats in the call notes. Honestly, I didn't know what I was walking into. It could have been anything from the medical assist to the dogs. I really didn't know what I was walking into until I got there.
What did you see when you walked in?
Initially, when I arrived on scene, there was fire. The fire department, ESD, was on scene. They noted. I just stood outside the building initially, and they told me of what had occurred in reference to Ruby. Was it complaining of trouble with breathing? They advised her to take a seat, and then she collapsed. They stated that she went into cardiac arrest. EMS was on scene, and they rushed her off to the hospital and was gone prior to my arrival on scene. Fire advised that due to the ammonia-like smell, and they believed that it could have caused health conditions, and they showed me the root of the smell by opening a door into one of the bedrooms, and that's when I observed the dogs on the crates.
Were photographs taken?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to show you what's marked as State's Exhibit A1 through A15, and I've tendered a copy to Ms. Davis, Your Honor, as well. Are you familiar with those?
Yes, sir.
And what are those?
These are my pictures that I've taken
And what are they pictures of?
of the inside of the house, or the outside of the house, of the crime scene, of the scene where the dogs stacked up on crates, the dogs inside the crates. That's pretty much it.
And is that a fair and accurate representation of what you saw that day when you entered the house?
Yes, that's correct.
Your Honor, I move to introduce what's marked as State's Exhibit A1 through A15 into evidence. Deputy Phillips, when you walked into the house, could you smell anything?
Yes, a mixture of urine and feces, which is giving the ammonia-like smell.
Did you see any urine and feces in the crates?
Yes, I did.
And did you see any food anywhere?
I did not see any food.
Did you see any water inside the crates?
I saw them at the bottom of the crates, not inside of cups, but spilt over water inside of the crates.
And so that was water mixed with urine and feces.
That is correct.
And did you see any evidence that that the dogs had been let out anytime soon?
No, sir, besides the dogs outside the residence.
How were the dogs acting when y'all were present?
Well, they were excited to see us. None of the dogs were aggressive, which was surprising based off the amount of dogs inside the residence. Just very hyperactive dogs when we arrived on the scene.
Are you familiar with this breed of dogs at all?
No, sir.
Are you familiar with dogs at all?
No, sir.
Do you have any dogs?
No, sir.
Did you grow up with dogs? Did you have a dog when you were growing up?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So in just your lay person's opinion, is this a reasonable condition for these dogs to be in?
No, sir.
Even if they were in there for 1 hour?
Even if they were in there for 1 hour, yes, sir.
What about 2 hours?
I still wouldn't say it was reasonable.
What about 3?
Not reasonable.
4?
Not reasonable.
Okay. And so, what time did you arrive?
I believe approximately 12:30.
And what time did you leave?
I believe about 16:45, approximately.
Can you give us non-law enforcement personnel?
4:45.
4:45, all right. So, so you were there for
Quite about
4 hours?
4 or 5 hours.
Yeah. So, and at any point in time, did you have a conversation with anyone about how these dogs were being cared for?
When I first arrived on scene,
Or any time throughout the day?
we spoke with Maureen. That was the only person I spoke with.
What did she say?
That she had last been at the residence about 10 p.m.
Okay.
The day prior, she was helping her mother take care of the dogs. That was the last time she was there at the residence.
So, in your kind of lay opinion, how long do you think it would take to get into this condition?
I don't know.
I mean, do you think this is something that happened overnight between 10 p.m. and the 11:30 when you got there?
No.
Do you think this is something that is just that occurs just immediately, or is this?
It's it does take time, I imagine. Right.
Did Maureen Davis say anything about, you know, that she was letting all the dogs out every day, all day, or that she was intermittently letting the dogs out? What did she say to you?
It was very vague when I conducted the interview with her. Just that she was the one taking care of the dogs, that she wouldn't let the dogs out and take care of them.
Yeah, first switch. Yeah. I'm showing you what's marked as Exhibit C. Do you recognize this?
This from last time, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And you and I sat down and we talked about this. This is a thumb drive that that has your body cam footage on it.
Yes, sir.
And you had body cam footage on at that time?
That is correct.
Do you always
Yes, sir.
turn on your body cam when you respond to a call?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, may I? Yes. Publish. Dual factor authentication. I'll blame IT. Well, you're the judge. Do you recognize these files here on this?
File and body camera.
And those are multiple files of your body cam footage?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, before we start playing the video, I would ask the court, I would offer the court what's marked as Exhibit C, which is body cam footage of, from Deputy Phillips. Now, in the interest of everybody's time today, I'm not going to go through the entire 4 hours of body cam footage, but I do want to point out a few instances to you and let you explain to the court what you saw when you entered the house. So can you describe to the court what
So,
you see?
do you think she's gonna make it, or?
Asking for welfare.
You got some roads? I need some.
What was he telling
He
you
was
there?
advising that I need to put some Vicks rub on my nose due to the smell inside the residence, and I told him no.
Is that common?
Due to the ammonia-like smell, yes, common.
It's not super bad. This is where, so she was right here by the van when we came to the back, came to the door. I pulled this chair out like, hey, why don't we sit here?
Hi, Bobby. Where's your boy?
Should I close the doors of the dog home? Yeah.
Hey, Bobby.
There's another dog that's in this kennel right here.
There was a dog that came up. What?
Yes, that was one of the poodles that exited the bedroom.
Another one down there. She came in, she sat down right here. I'm suspecting based off of she has something going on with a urinary. Because she had obvious signs of urinary on her, urinary on the bed. She was right here when we were trying to get vitals and then she locked up. I picked her up. Stretcher was right here, carried her right here to the stretcher. There's multiple dogs, multiple cages. There's dogs in the bathroom. I think the dogs in there. Yeah, kennel dogs in the bathroom. There's probably, 30, 40 in here, you said? Oh my. Yeah, there's a oh, Jesus. Before that, he's got his body cam on from that. Right on both sides.
What is this being introduced to show?
Ma'am?
What is this being introduced to show? Proof of?
Your Honor, I've offered this as evidence, and this is
What's evidence of?
proofs of the conditions of the home.
Evidence of the condition.
If she wanted to object to the offer of evidence, she could have done that earlier. if she was-
I do object, well, you didn't give me your evidence ahead of time.
Well, it's entered.
Yeah.
There's more in this room. A lot more in this room.
Okay. I'm investigating, put this as an animal cruelty because this is getting too much. So.
Did you check upstairs? No.
Okay. So, what did you say there?
I didn't hear what I mumbled initially at first, but I was speaking in regards to this being possibly an animal cruelty case.
And so what was that based on?
The dog's living conditions, not access. I mean, I couldn't tell the food, just dogs being paired up in cages, stacked up on top of each other. It's not necessarily reasonable for conditions for dogs living.
Would you believe that that would be animal cruelty? Based on the condition, did you believe at that time that there was probable cause to obtain a warrant for animal cruelty?
At this time, I was still a little unsure because I didn't have a lot of experience when it comes to animal cruelty cases. So I was a little bit on the hesitant side when it comes to. I wasn't able to look if there was food at this time or water inside the cages. I was just trying to get a broad overview of what was going on.
But ultimately you did.
Yes.
And ultimately, what did you find?
The dogs didn't have food, access to water, and they were sitting in their feces and urine, which I would have thought that would have articulated enough for animal cruelty. So.
And did you, how many rooms were their dogs in? Do you recall?
I believe 5.
And so that was all the 5 front rooms up there?
Yes, sir.
And there was an upstairs, is that correct?
That is correct.
And were there dogs upstairs?
No, sir.
Were there dogs outside?
Yes.
And those dogs that were outside, where were they?
There was, I believe, 7 in the cage together in one cage outside. There was another one, poodle in the backyard, fenced by itself, and then there was another greyhound dog in the backyard, fenced in there by itself. And there was another dog outside of a crate in the backyard as well. So.
And based on what you saw and what you observed, based on the totality of the circumstances, you believe that there was probable cause to obtain a warrant for and you believe that these dogs were cruelly confined.
That is correct. Yes, sir.
And you believe that these dogs were unreasonably deprived of necessary food and care.
That's correct.
I'll pass the witness.
You have questions for him?
How much experience do you have with animals?
I don't have a lot of experience with animals.
Cruel confinement, how are you defining that?
Just due to the fact that there was 2 dogs in a small little kennel together and with no access to being able to leave. You made the statement to me that they were stuck in there since 10 o'clock the night before, and you were the one that took care of them.
They were let out early that morning.
You didn't
I
advise
was
us
not the
that.
only person that took care of
Your Honor, I'm
the
going to
dogs.
object.
Versus
Testify.
He brought it up.
Ask a question.
Can you prove the last time they were let out?
No, I cannot.
Okay. Can you prove the last time that they were fed?
No, I cannot.
Okay. Can you prove what is the definition of cruel confinement? Is there a legal definition for that?
It's listed within the penal code.
He's saying 2, 3, 4 hours, you're agreeing to all of that. That doesn't sound like a definition. These dogs that were outside, can you show me how exactly they are not in good condition? Do you have any proof these dogs were neglected from this picture? Are the dogs outside in that picture?
Yes, there's the 7 dogs in the 1 cage
Are they
outside.
getting exercise?
They are getting exercise.
So is that cruel confinement?
They are not getting food nor water.
How frequently do you think they should be fed?
I imagine that everybody should at least be fed once or twice a day in general, but I don't see
Do
any
you
food
have proof
outside.
they were not fed once or twice a day?
I do know they weren't fed in the picture.
Do you have proof that they should be fed outside, and this is where they are usually fed?
I do know they weren't fed inside because there was no food in the cage. And I know there's no food outside, so there's no food out there either.
Where did you look for the food?
In the crates where they have
Okay,
access
the
to.
food was not in the crates because they were fed at night.
Okay. At 10 o'clock the day before.
They were fed every single evening. Do you have any type of medical proof that they should be fed
No, ma'am, I don't.
any time of the day?
I don't have any medical proof.
What do you think happens to dogs when they're given free access to food? And they
I
can eat as
mean-
much as they want?
No, I don't know.
I'm sorry, but I don't think that you have very much knowledge on this case. You said you don't have very much animal knowledge.
That is
Are
correct.
you allergic to dogs?
I'm not allergic to dogs.
Okay. What did you say when you walked into my mother's residence?
Which part?
I heard an "oh my gosh" there.
Oh, I said, oh my gosh.
Okay. Was she there at that time?
No, she was not.
So you did not speak to her. Did you ask her any questions?
No.
Okay. What was said to her before she was taken to the hospital?
I
Was she
wasn't there.
questioned on taking care of the dogs?
I wasn't there.
Okay. So can you prove that she did not previously take care of every single one of these dogs?
You advised that you took care of the dog.
Did you see that these dogs are outside at this time?
That is correct.
Okay, who do you think let them out?
I assume you, because you advised that you took care of the dog.
I was not there, you saw me drive up.
Yeah.
Okay. So when I was driving up, do you think that I expected to be accosted by the sheriff's department and the animal control?
No.
Okay. My neighbor asked me if something was wrong with my
Your Honor, I'm
dog.
going to object again. She's testifying.
Testify.
Okay.
Question?
So back to the question, do you have proof that they were let out by me, these dogs, in this picture?
No.
Okay. So there is no proof that they had not been let out earlier that day. Can you give me any kind of evidence showing how long it had been since the dog cages on the inside had been cleaned?
You advised you took care of the dogs, and the last time you were there was 2200 or 10 p.m.
The dogs had been out since then.
Okay.
How long do you think it takes for 2 Italian Greyhounds to pee and poop in their crate?
I don't know anything regarding dogs.
Okay. So I'm not sure what you can offer exactly. Have you ever participated in an animal cruelty investigation before?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Do you have any proof that these dogs are being cruelly treated?
The photo documentation, body camera footage.
Okay, so what's the definition of cruel confinement?
I already went through this question before with you.
Okay, so there is not a legal definition. All right, thank you.
Do you have any further?
No.
Nothing further on.
Thank you.
Have another witness?
State would call Detective Tim McDonald to the stand.
I object. Mr. Tim McDonald did not arrive to the scene until the end of the process of all of the dogs being removed. I'm not sure what he can offer about the occasion. And there is also a conflict of interest here.
Overruled.
Detective McDonald, can you, I'm familiar with the court, how long have you been with the sheriff's office?
I've been with the Sheriff's Office since January 1 of 2013.
And how long have you been a detective?
November, I believe, will be 12 years.
And have you had an opportunity to investigate animal cruelty cases?
Several.
And in your training and experience, have you had an opportunity to see what a unreasonable confinement would be for a dog?
Yes.
Do you believe that the conditions that you saw that day and the conditions that were photographed, do you believe those to be reasonable conditions for the animals to live in?
By no means.
Do you believe that it is reasonable for a dog to sit in their own urine and feces for 1 hour?
It's not reasonable for any amount of time other than what it would take for somebody to recognize it and take care of it immediately.
And that's what y'all did that day? And that's what y'all did that day?
I did the warrant.
Yes.
But yes.
You
that's-
recognized?
I recognized that was what I recognized with also the information provided by the detective and the deputy on scene as well as animal control, that it was not reasonable.
And you were on scene at the end of that, this proceeding,
Yes,
and you saw the conditions that the animals were in?
yes,
Did you smell the conditions that the
Yes.
animals were in? And did you believe that there was probable cause to obtain a warrant?
yes.
And so what did you do?
I obtained a seizure warrant and presented it to the Justice of the Peace Precinct 3.
And at that point, that gave you the authority to seize these animals, is that correct?
Correct.
And did you assist in that process as well?
No,
Who seized the animals?
I don't know exactly which officers. We use the standard of probable cause a lot, and we use an example of that by the phrase evidence or facts or circumstances that would lead a reasonable person to believe that a crime has been committed, will be committed, or has already been committed. And so the key that we look at is what is reasonable. And over the years that I've been an investigator and investigated several animal cruelty cases, that this surpassed the threshold of what reasonable care and confinement would be.
Pass the witness.
Yeah. Question?
Did you examine any of the dogs?
No, ma'am.
Did you see any of the dogs?
Not in person.
Okay. What is your experience with dogs?
I have a dog, and like I said, I've worked several animal cruelty cases.
And is your dog ever in a cage?
Mine is crated when we were gone, but my dog is not left with fecal matter or urine, ever, since I've owned the
What
dog.
does the standard of an reasonably deprived of food, what does that mean?
We base it on what we see at face value, which is when the information that I received from the detective and from the deputy that was on scene, that there was no food present. And with that, we don't assume that the dog is fed or isn't fed. We say there is no food in there right now. And the moment we start assuming is when we really don't do an adequate job of investigation. We don't wait till the dogs are dead before we say that they're
Did you see
cruel.
any of the dogs that were almost dead? Or any of the dogs in
To answer-
condition they would have died in the
To answer your first question, I did not see any of the dogs that were almost dead. I don't know what you're referring to. I saw pictures of dogs being cruelly confined without adequate food or water.
Okay.
Yeah.
What does cruelly confined mean legally?
I think that's been addressed, but I don't think there's an answer for that for you. I'm sorry.
Do you admit that it doesn't have a legal definition?
I'm just telling you that I don't think that there's a legal definition for that. I do know. Are you asking me what I think, what my opinion is, or
I'm
is
asking for the legal definition.
it?
You're giving me a subjective answer. This is your opinion, yes? That's not objective.
Do you? I'm asking you. Or is that what you're? I'm trying to get clarification. Do you want me to give you my opinion, or
No, the legal
do you want me to repeat
definition.
the legal definition of what was it again?
Unreasonably deprived of food, care, and everything else you listed.
Okay. If there's no food or water in the cage, the question that I specifically asked the detective, are there? I noticed that there were water jugs attached to the side of the kennels that I saw. I asked if they were had any water in them. He said no. I said, are some of them dry or wet? He said some are dry, some are wet, which indicated that there was a long time that those dogs did not have adequate water.
Do you have proof that they were not
Oh, you don't want me to finish?
given water elsewhere or any
I'm-
other time?
Can he finish?
Okay, with what I was given and the information I was given, I did not have any indication that there were food or water in those kennels.
Do these dogs look to you like they are neglected?
Yes,
How exactly?
as the animal control officer stated, if they're not meeting the standard that the Smith County's ordinances, let me finish. If they're not meeting the standard that is law, then they're not adequately cared for. They're not adequately sheltered, and that's the standard. It's what's reasonable, not. I totally understand that Hollywood and other things that we might take into consideration give us an opinion, but that does not mean that is the standard that us in law enforcement utilize to make our decisions. We make our decisions based on statute and what's reasonable. And in this case, the fact that they are not being cared for to the standard that the law says and that what the ordinances say, then yes, it's unreasonable for them to be confined the way they are. So,
What is the standard the law says?
which part? The ordinances that
What you just mentioned.
Okay. Adequate food and water,
Okay.
adequate shelter.
What is adequate food and water?
Okay. Again, there was no water in there, so that's not adequate. So that the adequate would be if they had access to water. Some of the dogs did not have access to water, so that is inadequate. That is not meeting the standard. That is the cruel confinement. That is the cruel, the animal cruelty of the no food and water. There was no food in the bowls. I was given information that it had been 12 hours. And no, I'm not a greyhound expert. I don't know. I have no idea. I just know that when we saw these animals, they did not have adequate food and water and shelter.
Do you have proof that they had not recently received adequate food, water, or shelter?
Yes, the simple fact that the bottles were empty, the pans were empty, and again, I referenced the fact that they were dry. And I specifically asked that question to the detective because that's the proof, the fact that it's been empty so long that inside it had all dried. So they had not had water for hours, so, I mean, that's the proof.
So you assumed that was the only place they'd be able to get water?
When nobody was there, yeah. You didn't arrive on scene until after the fact, and you told the detective or one of the deputies that you hadn't been there since, and you even said 10 p.m. earlier today. So yeah, that's a long time without water.
They have access to water when they're out. These dogs in my mother's room,
Mm-hmm.
do you know when they were last cared for?
And how? What manner?
When were they last fed?
No idea.
When were they last given water?
I have no idea.
Okay. That's all.
That's fine.
Okay, you take it.
You're all right. This to the court. To go with it. State's last witness would be Fire Marshal Chad Hope. Marshal Hope, your role now includes animal control, is that correct?
That's correct.
And are you familiar with these dogs?
I'm familiar with the case, and I've seen the dogs once they arrived at the shelter.
And are you familiar with the condition that they came in when they were in the shelter?
Yes.
And I know these dogs are a skinny breed of dogs, but, well, let me ask you, have you ever worked animal cruelty investigations before?
I have. It's been quite a while back, and I was minimally involved. It was probably in 2017.
And so you're somewhat familiar with the standard and the requirements of an animal cruelty case.
Yes.
And these dogs, were they skinny? Were they fat? Were they well fed? What did they appear to you?
They appeared skinny, even for the breed that they are. I'm not an expert by any means. I would probably value the opinion of the veterinarian and the scale that he used for that evaluation.
And he determined that they were at around a 2 or 3?
I believe so.
And what, are they currently getting treatment in the shelter right now?
And they are.
And what are they getting treatment for?
They're getting treatment for worms, I think several different types of worms. And they did test positive for coccidia, and I believe they're being medicated for that as well.
And the county is providing care for them?
Yes.
And I'm going to, may I approach, Your Honor? I'm showing you what's marked as Exhibit D. Are you familiar with this?
Yes,
And that's an invoice from today's date, is that correct?
that is correct.
And what is the amount that the county has spent to date to care for these animals based on the current rate that is set by animal control?
So all total, $12,760.
Your Honor, I'd offer into evidence what's marked as State's Exhibit D, and I have provided a copy of this earlier to this case. I've allowed her to see a copy of it. I have no further questions for this witness, Your Honor.
You have a question?
Have you personally examined each and every dog?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Do you know what the average weight is of a whippet?
No, ma'am.
Do you know what the average weight of an Italian Greyhound is?
No, ma'am.
Do you have any proof, legal definition of how much they should weigh?
No, ma'am.
How much experience do you have with dogs?
I've been around dogs all my life. I grew up with dogs and other farm animals. Currently have 2 dogs, and I've pretty much always had dogs in my life.
Do you have any experience with whippets or Italian Greyhounds?
No, ma'am.
Where is this $12,760? What is that composed of?
So roughly, that's based on the intake procedure the day that they were seized. That's approximately $20 per animal that day, and then $15 per animal each day after that. That's including the evaluations, the vet, food, cleaning, kennel care.
How much time is spent taking care of each one of them every day?
I don't have a breakdown of that exactly.
And how much is being spent on each one of their food?
That's included in the cost in there, but I don't have that number exactly separated.
This is a generalization, right?
Yes.
Okay. What is the body score, 2, 3, what does this mean?
I'm not real familiar with it, but it was on the veterinarian's evaluation. It's a scale of 1 to 5. I believe 1 is being the poorest condition, and 5 being excellent condition or adequate, and it was at the lower end of that.
I was not given any of this information beforehand. All right, thank you. I don't have any other questions.
Marshall Hogue, you said that you've had dogs all your life, is that correct?
Yes.
How do you keep your dogs? Do you keep them in a kennel for 10 hours?
No, I do not.
Do you keep them in a carrying crate for 10 hours?
No. The 2 dogs that I currently have are Great Pyrenees, and they actually stay in a pen with goats that we have. They're guardian dogs.
So they're working dogs?
They are.
And so, do you provide them with food
Yes.
regularly? Do they sit in their own feces for 1 hour?
No.
Do they sit in their own feces for 2 hours?
No.
What about 3?
Never.
What about 4 hours?
No.
Do you believe it's reasonable for them to sit in their own feces for 1 hour?
I do not.
What about their own urine?
No.
That's probably
How long have you been taking over for the shelter director?
It's around a month right now.
Do you have any previous experience over the shelter?
Yes, ma'am. I was placed in charge of animal control in 2017 until either the end of 2017 or 2018. So roughly a year or so at that time.
What do you, Great Pyrenees, you say that they are outside all the time.
They are.
Do you think these look like dogs all the time?
With adequate
How much
shelter.
do you think they weigh?
How much do I think they weigh? I don't know. I mean, that would just be a rough guess. I know they're small dogs.
Okay, so do you think when it is raining, when it is cold, do you think they would enjoy being outside?
With adequate shelter, food, water, and everything they need, they could be inside or outside, I believe.
Do you think the dog's disposition should be taken into account, whether they stay outside all the time or not?
I think if they were going to stay outside all the time, they would need to be in better condition than what they currently are.
I don't know what you mean by that. These
Healthier.
are dogs that weigh less than 15 pounds as adults.
I'm sorry. Can you
They are less than 15 pounds as adults.
Okay.
Ask, I'm going to object, just testify.
Well, I'm asking him if he thinks that these dogs would enjoy being outside all
Alright.
the time.
He's already answered that question.
He does not have particular knowledge about Italian Greyhounds, do you? Have you ever owned an Italian Greyhound or a Whippet?
No.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Dr. Furley. Let's go our state reps.
Would you like to testify?
I'd like to say a few things. The state did not give me all of what they submitted today beforehand. And they did not give me a chance to bring witnesses. I'm going to say that these are my mother's dogs. She raised, bred, and showed dogs for over 50 years. She has many people she sold multiple dogs to that returned and said they were well taken care of. They were fed daily. They were in good condition overall. They should never have been taken. Right now they're in a shelter They are scared, and these are sensitive dogs. If you leave them outside, they lose weight and they get nervous. They're meant to be kept inside. They're small and lean and thin. That is their natural condition. While this was happening, my mother was at the hospital. She was being given life-saving measures. While I was on the phone with the resident doctor, the sheriff's investigator walked up and started asking me additional questions. He did not ask if I could talk to him. He did not tell me that he was going to take the dogs. In fact, the animal control officer told me in the beginning she was going to work with me and allow the dogs to stay.
Your Honor, at this point, I'm going to object if she's testifying about somebody else's testimony. With the hearsay evidence, she had the opportunity to cross-examine the
I did
animal
ask her.
control officer, and
I asked
that
her.
she did not elicit that testimony, so I'm going to object based on that.
One of the investigators let out my mother's dog. She was walking around. She could have been hit by a car at that time. That is her constant companion that she would have liked to have kept. So right now I do not see that any standard of proof has been met regarding abuse or neglect. I have not seen pictures showing that every single dog was not in good condition, and our own vet has not examined them. I have not been given any information regarding what this vet evaluation number is based on or proof of where it comes from. These dogs were legally owned by my mother, and at the time she did not want to sell all of them. She was very sick. She did not feel well, but she was taking care of them when she was able to. She had help, but there was no reason for them to be taken. The Italian Greyhounds, they poop and pee in their crates multiple times a day. They are toy dogs. They're not easy to train not to go to the bathroom inside. The crates had been changed earlier that day. As for water, every single dog there was given access to water multiple times a day. They played outside for hours a day when it was nice weather. I've not seen any proof that they were not fed regularly or offered water regularly. Currently, they are in concrete runs where they're hosed out every day. Wire cages. These dogs do not enjoy being in those kind of conditions. They are sensitive dogs. So I do not see any proof of abuse or neglect in this case. My mother was an AKC breeder of merit. She had the AKC inspected her multiple times, and she passed every single time. The AKC could send an inspector at any time to investigate her. So she has many people that would defend the fact that her dogs were in good conditions. She was never a puppy mill. I have not seen any proof. I have not seen a legal definition of puppy mill. Who knows what that even means? It's being used as a reason to say that it was okay to take her dogs. They were legally owned by her. She did many types of testing. She had health records for all of her dogs. They were given medical care. The last couple of months, she was not doing very well. Her mental health started to decline. If anybody that knew her and spent time with her, they would understand what was happening. She did not deserve to be treated in this way. Her family would have been at the hospital with her had this not been happening, and I not been questioned by multiple people with no time to prepare. My kids were there. This is a very traumatic event. I would like to get the dogs back because they were not being abused or neglected. She would never do that. And I was not the legal owner of them at the time, but I'm one of her legal heirs and a next of kin. And at the time, they were not under my ownership. I could not do anything with them without her permission. It does not seem right that the state can come in and take all of her animals. These animals are very valuable to breeders of these breeds. She spent 50 years showing and breeding these dogs and was well known around the country and the world. I would appreciate some consideration for her and our family and everything.
Anything else?
You know.
You have questions?
No, Your Honor.
Do you rest?
Yes.
Your Honor, based on the evidence presented, there's definitely probable cause to believe, and there's definitely a preponderance of evidence to indicate that these dogs were in fact cruelly treated and unreasonably confined. Based on the testimony from animal control, based on the testimony from the detectives that were present, these dogs were infested with worms and that were a result of their ingestion of their own urine and feces. These dogs were kept for at least an extended period of time in their own urine and feces. They had sores on their legs and on their bodies that indicated that they remained in that condition for an extended period of time. You saw the pictures. I did not play the entire video. It was 4 hours of video footage. I saved the court's time, but if the court wants to go and review that video, they certainly can. It is in evidence today. And they can see the condition of, you can see the condition of the home yourself. But in the pictures, you can see that the dogs are in crates, multiple dogs in crates, with urine and feces caked on the crates, seeping through the crates, down to the other crates, onto the floor. Your Honor, if that is not unreasonable confinement, I don't know what else is, regardless of if it's an hour, 2 hours, or 3 hours. We're not here for a criminal case. We're not trying to arrest Miss Davis for animal cruelty. We certainly can't arrest her mother, but what we're saying in this situation is that based on the conditions that these dogs were in, she was unable to care for those dogs. It is not reasonable to return any of the dogs back to that condition. There is nobody there present that can care for those dogs. She said it herself, these dogs are expensive dogs. These dogs are toy breed dogs. They don't need to be kept in those conditions. No dog needs to be kept in that condition. And the fact that EMS, when they were responding to the call, called out to the sheriff's office over the concern of this dog is also evidence that these dogs should not be returned back to Miss Davis. We are not saying that anybody intentionally kept these dogs in those conditions. It appears, for all intent and purposes, that this situation got out of hand because Miss Davis's mother could not care for these dogs any longer. In fact, she said that on the video. She said that today, that she had to help care for these dogs because they were sick. It's obvious at this point that 44 dogs, regardless of the breed, should not be kept in this type of condition for any extended period of time. And so we're asking the court today to award these dogs to the state so that they can go to a home that they can be cared for and so they don't have to sit in their own urine and feces for an hour, for 4 hours, for 10 hours any longer. And that's what we're asking the court to do today. We're also asking the court to award a fee of $12,000 that was listed in Exhibit D for the care of these animals. That's it.
You have a final?
These dogs are the property of my mother's estate, and since she's no longer here, then they should go to her family. These were very special, important dogs to her, and she would not have wanted them to be in this situation, in an animal control shelter, not around people that know them and have experience with them. They were not dogs that she raised just to earn a profit. They were her love. And we are fully able to take care of them. They have space and all of the resources that are needed. She has a regular vet that she's seen for many, many years that will be able to take care of the dogs and give them all necessary medical care.
You have anything?
Your Honor, nothing other than the fact that, you saw the conditions, you heard the testimony, and this is not reasonable. It's not reasonable confinement, and these dogs should be awarded to the state for the sole fact that Ms. Davis has not presented any information that they can continue to care for these dogs in the manner that is necessary for them to thrive and survive. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay. At this time of hearing all the evidence and, or the testimony and seeing the evidence, I'm going to order that the cruelly treated animal case is that they were, or here on October the 8th, 2025, decide that the 44 plus dogs belonging to the estate of Ruby Jolene Davis, because of lack of food, water, and being kept in the crates, that they're going to be given to the following municipality or county animal shelter, nonprofit animal welfare organization, and we'll put Smith County Animal Control. Optional is further ordered the animals be spayed or neutered at the cost of receiving party. And there's a matter of $12,000.
Your Honor, I have a proposed order, if you'd like. that you can read.
And it is saying here that they can appeal. Actually, this cannot be appealed.
It can be appealed to the,
Can it be?
it can be appealed if there is a bond posted. The bond is required to be paid based on the fee that is assessed by the court. It can only be appealed to the county court at law.
Okay, respondent or authorized legal representative of respondent's estate has the right to appeal this order, divesting the owner of ownership of the county court at law, Smith County, Texas, and is ordered that the amount of bond necessary to perfect this appeal would be $24,000.
Appealing this decision.
Ma'am?
I would like to appeal.
We'll do that right here, but you can appeal. Okay, you want to go around the front, we'll get you a copy of it. Thank you.
You want to take it? You got it, Council?
I got it, I think so.
Move that chair so you can get it up. Well, how about that?
Now where do you want me to put it?
Lay it right